Hey there and welcome back to XCOM. My name is Pete and today we complete the first few days of our second in-game month in our XCOM Enemy Within Ironman Impossible walkthrough. Apologies also for my rather rough voice today. My cold somehow doesn't want to go away, but I hope you can excuse that. Now, in the last episode we completed another abduction mission and we had our very first council report, and things are going very well so far. We finished the last month with an A grade, all countries are still part of the XCOM project, and we also haven't lost a single soldier yet. We'll see if that continues today. The second month has a few mean surprises for us in store, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Also, in the last episode, we had Assault Adam work and Sniper Resilius Wargal receive promotions, and in between episodes I quickly assigned them new nicknames from the patron naming rights tier. Adam is now called Pigman after Marcus Pigman, while Resilius goes by the Wise after Jave the Wise. So thank you both very much for your support, and with that we actually have nothing else to do to set up the episode, so it's time to start scanning.
Satellite coverage. Power generator complete.
And here we are, our two new power generators are finished, and that means that we now have enough power to construct a few new facilities. In total we have 14 units of power to work with, and let's begin by using 2 of those, together with 50 credits, to build the all-important access lift which will eventually let us use the second level of our base. Yes, we still have one empty spot to build in at the top level, but that is not where our third satellite uplink will go, so we actually need to dig a bit deeper in order to launch new satellites at the end of the month. And with construction underway, we can then once again continue scanning.
Commander, we have multiple reports of new abductions in progress. The locations are marked on the hologlobe.
Alright, time for more alien abductions. As always, 3 countries are under attack and we have to make a choice. Helping out Russia would earn us even more engineers, Japan would provide us with a cash bonus of 200 credits, and the United States would send a few scientists our way. All in all, panic levels are evenly spread across the globe, so we don't have to be overly strategical here, and so we can pick a country purely based on the reward. And while scientists would be very good as we don't have a lot, the cash bonus from Japan might actually be the more useful reward at the moment, because it will allow us to build the officer training school a bit faster than planned, and could even leave us with enough to get started on another interesting facility. So Japan it is, let's assemble our usual suspects and then get going.
Central, this is Big Sky. Strike team is touching down now. Standing by for your orders.
Roger, Big Sky. Reading you 5x5. Strike 1 has the green light for deployment.
As always in abduction missions, we need to clear the area of hostiles, and if possible also secure both melt canisters. The map here has a fairly large building in the middle, and to get us started we will get a bit closer and into cover with the entire squad, and then put everyone on overwatch.
If I had to hazard a guess, based on its profile, I'd say the aliens developed this unit with the intention of tracking and isolating single targets. It appears to have a sophisticated evasion system as well.
Perhaps we should try to avoid those tentacles.
On the aliens' first turn, we then immediately reveal both the first melt container and a brand new type of enemy, the Seekers. Emilia damaged one of them, but they're not down yet, and as a reaction to being spotted, they have now activated stealth mode. As long as that mode is active, we cannot see or shoot at them, and the Seekers will use this advantage to get close to us and then strike with a strangling attack that completely immobilizes soldiers. They also have a ranged attack, but they don't use that too often, as they have to deactivate their stealth mode first before they can fire. At the moment there is not much we can do as we can't see them, so let's get closer to the building, and by doing so Emilia also spots the melt. Apart from that, the building looks clear, but as we get closer with Adam, 2 more Seekers are revealed. Once again they activate stealth mode and escape our eyes for now, so all we can do is activate Overwatch and wait for the aliens to complete their turn. Emilia then locates the second melt container, so it seems like we're heading in the right direction, and so far the Seekers have stayed away as well. With only 2 turns left to grab the first melt, we then move Emilia into heavy cover, while the rest of the squad also enters the building. As long as we have Seekers floating around, we want to make sure that every soldier can be seen by at least 2 others, so they can keep each other's backs with Overwatch in case some of the Seekers show up to strangle someone. Again though, nothing happens, so let's grab the meld while we still can.
Headed there now. Got the goods.
Up next, we will group our soldiers a bit closer together and continue to make sure that they can cover each other before we activate Overwatch. On the alien's turn, we hear and see both doors to the room burst open, but we don't see any enemies. However, it is very clear that 2 Seekers have just entered the building, and we can actually see the position of one of them right here next to Emilia. And while we could now use explosives to attack it, that would be rather wasteful, so let's once again get everyone closer together and wait for what happens. By the way, cover is actually not too important against the Seekers as long as they are stealthed, as they will most likely engage in melee combat where cover has no effect. And here we are, the first Seeker tries to sneak up on Resilius, but in order to apply its stranglehold it has to decloak, and as soon as that happens it triggers reaction shots from Adam and Emilia, and together they are able to take the Seeker out. That still leaves 3 more of them, but we can't simply sit here and wait for them, so let's instead have a look around the corner. And here we are, that also reveals melt container number 2, and at least from what we can tell, the alley leading up to it looks empty, but we have been wrong on that before. Before we approach any further, we can once again collect our troops and then put everyone on Overwatch again. And just in that moment, the next Seeker decloaks to attack us, and unfortunately 3 of our 4 reaction shots miss it, and it now has a clear path at Resilius. The stranglehold is applied, Mr. Wargul takes 2 points of damage, and most importantly he is now completely immobilized and can't move or shoot until the Seeker lets go of him. Thankfully, that can easily be achieved by shooting at it. Even 1 point of damage would be enough to break the hold, but Adam is thorough and lands a critical hit for the kill. Resilius is now catching his breath. Recovering from the stranglehold leaves him with a severely reduced movement rate and aim for the rest of the turn, so we cannot really do much more but to switch back to the sniper rifle and put him on Overwatch. Meanwhile, Emilia will disengage from the group for a moment. Her movement range is enough to get to the melt in the 2 turns we still have, and to watch her back we'll have Heavy Andrea Cook step outside as well. The aliens remain quiet on this turn, so we can grab the meld and immediately return to Emilia's original position, and with everyone else ready to move again, the rest of the squad can join her and take a position near the door leading into the other part of the building. With both meld containers collected, this mission now becomes a game of patience, and this right here is a solid position to wait out our enemy's turn. While we have a moment here, we can also reload everyone who's short on ammo. After all, we still have a lot of fighting left to do.
Rock and roll.
Emilia and Adam are also not too useful in their current positions, so let's have them cover the other door. And once they are in position, we can also take a peek inside of the room on the left. Alright, here we have another new type of enemy, the Flotus, and their name already reveals their role on the battlefield. These are units who use jetpacks to get around, and as a result, they have very high mobility and can basically get to any point on the map in just a single turn. While they are high up in the air, they are also harder to hit, so it's actually quite convenient that we have found them inside of a building. Apart from that, they have low health and their aim is considerably lower than that of sectoids or Thin Man, but of course we should still not underestimate them. Since we have 3 of them against us here in close quarters, we can thin out the opposition with a rocket from Andrea. She will only hit 2, but that leaves number 3 for Sniper Wargul, who can use his headshot ability to land an almost guaranteed critical hit. And indeed, that's this group taken out as well, nice and quickly, but we're not done yet, so let's keep our eyes open with Emilia and Adam on the right side. On the aliens' turn, the two of them also spot a second group of floaters and take their reaction shots, but not only does Adam decide to literally shoot through the wall, but both his and Emilia's shots miss their targets. And so we now have two floaters next to those big flower pots and another one somewhere down to the right. Since we also still have a shredder rocket on Andrea, we can use that to destroy some cover and get both floaters down to 2 hit points, giving Resilius another easy target. And indeed, that's another kill, and we could now move Emilia and Adam a bit closer to engage the remaining 2 enemies, but we also still have Seekers floating around, so I don't want to split the group. Instead, Emilia can deploy a smoke grenade for extra concealment, while Adam switches to his pistol and once again goes on Overwatch. The floater comes a bit closer and then does the same, the other one remains hidden for now. However, this is all we need to get another kill, as Adam can now activate run and gun to get himself into a flanking position. His lightning reflexes ability makes sure the floater's reaction shot misses, and Adam even stays close enough to the rest of the squad so that they can still cover his rear with another set of Overwatches. And those Overwatches also trigger immediately as the last remaining floater flies by and both Emilia and Resilius take aim. Both shots find their target, and with that we're now only left with 2 Seekers on this map. Since they don't show up just yet, we can call Adam back to the squad, reload Resilius' sniper rifle and put everyone else on Overwatch. Once again, cover is not too important at this point, the main priority is staying close together. With the next Seeker then decloaking out of nowhere, we can see the importance of a tight formation, as both Heavy Andrea and Assault Adam can fire reaction shots, and with success, as the enemy goes down before it can do any damage. With only 1 more enemy remaining, we can now also heal Resilius with Emilia's medkit. I didn't want to do that before, because someone else might have come under attack as well who might have needed the healing more, but right now it seems like we won't take any additional damage unless things go horribly wrong. It then takes another turn for the last Seeker to finally show up, and instead of appearing right in front of us, it comes out of stealth a good distance away, which might actually work to its advantage. And indeed, all 4 reaction shots go wide, and the Seeker engages, but luckily it is out of moves just as it reaches our small squad and cannot attack on this turn. In all likelihood, it also won't have another, as we should have no trouble finishing this right here and now. A grenade from Adam brings the Seeker down to 3 hit points, and we still have 3 soldiers with high percentage shots left, but let's start with Emilia.
X-ray down.
Operational objectives completed.
And that's already enough. Enemy down, mission complete. Back in the base, we receive 2 promotions for our support Emilia Solberg and for our assault Adam work, and we can also see that Sniper Resilius Wargirl will be out of action for 6 days, but hopefully he won't miss any missions. For Emilia's level up, we can now choose between Field Medic, which allows her to use her medikit 3 times per battle instead of once, and Smoke and Mirrors, which does the same, but for smoke grenades. And while we have occasionally used smoke grenades in this playthrough, the further we progress through the game, the more we will need Emilia to heal people, so we'll go with Field Medic. For some of the missions later in this game, having 3 medikits is more or less essential if we want to survive, while smoke grenades have a comparatively limited usefulness. With Adam, we can pick either Flush, a highly accurate shot that flushes enemies out of cover but does reduced damage, or Rapid Fire, an ability that allows him to fire twice in a row at the cost of a small aim penalty. And Rapid Fire is also what we'll go with. Flush is simply a bit too random for my taste. You cannot control where enemies run to, and it also consumes a ton of ammo and cannot be used with the pistol, while Rapid Fire is an incredibly useful ability. First of all, it has no cooldown, so it can be used every single turn, provided of course you have enough ammo, and the hit chance penalty can easily be countered by getting close to the enemies. In terms of loot, we recover 2 new types of alien corpses, the floater corpse and the seeker wreck, and we also finally unlock the laboratory, a facility that increases research speed. As our reward for this mission, we receive 200 credits and a panic reduction in Japan, while panic in North America and Europe increases, so Russia and the USA will likely require satellites at the end of the month.
We will be in touch, Commander.
Now, before we continue, we just saw Emilia level up, and because she's now also a sergeant, she also receives a nickname. So let me quickly pick one from the naming rights tier, and I'll be right back. Alright, here we are with Emilia Blinks or Blinkaxe Solberg. While it was picked at random, I feel like the name actually fits somewhat. Emilia is a sprinter after all, so one might associate her with a soldier blinking across the battlefield. So once again, thank you very much for your support, but enough with the interpretations now. We have some work to do, and for that we need to jump over to engineering.
That hulk of flesh and metal troubles me. What do we risk with our own investigations into the melding of human and machine? Will we see a line in the sand and refuse to cross it? Or will we move forward, willing to sacrifice everything for the sake of total victory? I have to believe that is not our future, provided, of course, that the aliens' technology remains in the right hands.
Right, Dr. Shen makes an interesting point here, but we have no time to discuss this further. Instead, we have money to spend. The 200 credits we received from Japan put us in a comfortable position, and as a result we can now already begin the construction of the officer training school. This will cost us 3 units of power and 125 credits, and the construction will take 8 days, but once it is finished, we can unlock some pretty powerful upgrades in this facility, most importantly an increased squad size, which will make future missions quite a bit easier. And that's all we can do for the moment, so let's start scanning again, but only until we reach the 10th of April. As you know, April is 1 day shorter than March, so with exactly 20 days left in the month, we need to order 3 new satellites. Thanks to our sizable squadron of engineers, prices have dropped once again, and a single satellite now only costs us 60 credits. In all likelihood, we will need 3 of them, so let's order those, one after the other, just on the slim chance that we don't actually need the 3rd one.
Commander, our current satellite uplink facilities are at full capacity. We should build additional uplinks as soon as possible to allow for new satellite deployments.
With the satellites ordered, we can now continue scanning, but before we receive our next mission, we finish the research of beam weapons. This is a major step towards upgrading our weaponry, and after completing this project we can already manufacture the laser pistol and the laser rifle, both solid upgrades over the conventional versions that our soldiers currently have equipped. Some extra research will be needed to get laser sniper rifles, shotguns and machine guns, and we could get started on that right away by picking precision or heavy lasers here, but for the moment we should actually start focusing on some extra defense, so we'll go with alien materials next. This will eventually pave the way towards better armor for our squad, and believe me, we'll need that sooner rather than later.
I expected that would be a priority research task, Commander. I'll begin allocating resources to the project immediately.
With the new project underway, we can then once again start scanning, but not for long, as our engineers have been busy as well. The access lift is completed, and with that we can now start excavating the 2nd floor of the XCOM mountain base, and we will need all the space we can get, so let's start digging right away. And with that we have now reached the end of today's episode. Our first encounter with Seekers and Flotus went as well as one could have hoped for. Yes, Rosilius will spend some time in the hospital, but with a bit of luck he might be back before we run into the next mission. Our base is also making good progress. The extra cash really helped in this episode, but from here on out we should probably focus a bit more on additional scientists. For today though, we can make the cut right here. As always, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and if you did, then I would be happy if you could leave a thumbs up. If you want to support me and my channel further, then you can of course subscribe if you haven't already, or you can check out and maybe pledge to the Pete Complete Patreon. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.